Hey everybody, this is Steve at Thousand Year Home. One of the projects that I'm working on, and besides building a workshop and a house and all of that, is the restorative agriculture. So as soon as I closed on the house, I went over to Arbor Day Foundation and I ordered a bunch of trees, and lo and behold, they have finally arrived. So everybody always asks what your price is. So there we go. I bought all of these trees. There's 50 bur oak, free tree planted. Oh, look, I'm going to get to plant trees that I won't even touch. 50 red bud, 50 maples, 50 river birch, 50 dogwood. Uh, let's see, 3 American beech. I love American beech. Now, people may be quick to point out not everything that I have here is native, but everything that I have here is in this zone. Again, I'm trying to do a farm in addition to restorative. So I'm not going just pure native forest. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to build um, a functional farm that's a forest farm. So, but these are certainly all decorative, and red bud are in this area. I wanted loblolly pine. I wanted pecans. I wanted some things in this area as well, and I don't have those yet. But the American beach is a little bit of a stretch, right? We'll go through. We'll take a picture, look at some of these. Anyway, near the house, then I'll do the buckeyes and the peach, then fruit and nuts near the house where I can keep an eye on them. Maybe keep the hog away, maybe keep the deer away, and I'll slowly grow the fruit and nuts around the house. But out in the cedar thickets and some of the pasture, that's what I want to do. I want to get these river birch going. I want to get these bur oak going. Bur oak is questionable in my area. It's really kind of east of me, but it's appropriate in the area. But the loblolly pine definitely is something that I want to do. And you'll notice I don't think I have a loblolly pine in here yet, and I don't have pecan. I tried to order them, but both of them were unavailable. So anyway, the red buckeye, Alberta peach. There's Hellhaven peach. Oh, look, it has links. Let's click these links. And then near the house, some magnolias, some elms. Forsythia, Chinese chestnut. Some of these quantities are 2 and 4 and whatnot. And I have some other things that I've ordered as well. But let's go ahead and take a look at that. The other thing I did is let me pull it into the screen. I went ahead and I grabbed a satellite view, and I don't have a tree map yet. So the first thing I'll do with you is this is my gate right here, and I've got a 28-foot drive that goes like this, and then my property line follows and then it goes down. Oh, all right, so then it goes down, and let's see if I can not, whatever is going on here. All right, I made it. Goes down to, and there's a little fence here. You'll notice that's half up. I'm going to put my driveway opening in here. I'm going to put another driveway opening here. And my house, let me go ahead and get a different color, is right here. So that's container 1. And over here is container 2. So there we go. There's the containers. And so continuing to follow my fence line, this has been cleared back and it goes down here. Let's see if I can get all of this to fit in one screen. So the fence line goes down and then over, and this is 30 acres. So if you take a look at it and then back, and sometimes my fence overlaps, sometimes the neighbor's fence overlaps. But what I want to do is all of those trees, I want to get a tree map going so that I'll know where I'm going to plant this weekend. So that's what I'm working on. So excited. Once they're in, right? So there's my drive. There's the first paddock. I used to think these were equally divided, but you can clearly see that they're not. This is a much larger hayfield. And what I think I'll do is I'll end up dividing the hayfield like this, and which makes logical sense for me. And I'll keep that hay. I'll go hay here. Let me get a little ink pen. So I'll go hay here. And then I'll keep half of this field hay here. I'll restore this fence. I've got to put in some fence here. I got to cut that fence out there. I got to rebuild this fence here. The fence is down all the way around here, so this will be hay as well. Hay. So what I'll do is first I'll reforest the cedar thickets, and then I'll do 1/3 of this hayfield, probably with a pecan orchard, which makes a lot of sense to me. So this up here. All right, one more try. Boom. All right. So let's go back and take a look. So that's the layout that I need to for. So what I want to do is obviously, and this will be easy. I'll go with a different color pin. This part here will be all my fruits and nuts, and I don't even see it. All my fruits and nut tree. I'll come around the back side of this, and that will be fruits and nuts. So any peach, any nut tree will be in this area. So my new driveway, let me put that in. Let's go with black pin. So the drive, go down through here. And right now it turns and follows the fence, but instead I'm going to have it do this through here. And then it'll go both ways around here. And it'll go in, pick up this logging trail, and come around here. And then I'll also branch it off here. So there'll be two. So I'll end up restoring that. So let's take a look at some of these trees now. So fruits and nuts, that's easy. That'll be in here. Post oak. All right. So there's, and then post oak. My idea for post oak was to put a little post oak field. I'll go back to custom pin. Let me see what colors I can make my pins. Customize, medium point. What colors can I grab? Let's go with white for post oak. So my idea is to run the post oak back in here and then kind of post oak. I'll just call it PO. And then I'll dabble post oak through as if it's a forest. So I have 50 trees of post oak, right? So let's say that's 10, 4, go 10, that area. Let's go 3, 1. What does that get me? Let's go 3 again. Though that's only 21, so I can start doing this thing as well. I could come up in here. So my idea on that would be to put some post oak along the edge here. And then put a couple of post oak in here, one here, and put a grouping of post oak in here. All right. And then I'll put a couple in here. And there's already a big oak tree there, so I'm going to put a post oak here and a post oak there. And along this fence line, there's a hawthorn there, so I'm going to do a post oak there and a post oak there. And I might run a couple more post oaks down through here. Even where the fence isn't yet, I'll put in some post oak. Along this fence, I have a whole bunch of things that I can do there. So, all right, so there's my post oak. Oh, and I'm going to give away some of those too. So, all right, white dogwood. There's 50 white dogwood. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I called them post oak. I meant to say bur oak all time. This is what they'll look like. They'll just be itty bitty things in in the rough tree. What is that? That's not even a bur oak. That's a loblolly pine or something. Well, there you go. There's what your bur oaks will look like, and they are native to this area, so they're a real pretty tree, and I'm looking forward to planting those. And they get fairly large, so someday somebody will have trees they can thin, and that'll be fine. And I'm going to overplant because, sure enough, if you don't overplant, there will come a day when a lot of these trees are going to be damaged by the hogs or damaged by the deer. So there was my bur oak. I think I took care of that. What else do I have? Red buds. Oh my gosh, these red buds are awesome for Texas. So real pretty. So what I was going to do with the red buds, going back to my house here, taking a look at that. Well, you go up where the drive is, and what I want to do is do the red buds, and I'll do RB, and I'll do those along here. So, and I've got 50 of those. So let's mark those off. One, two, and I'll do one across. How about that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13, 15. So if I did them on each side, that would be 30 red buds. So I'll go ahead and do the 30 red buds along the driveway. And that way your driveway would be canopied, really, really pretty. And then I was going to put the remaining 20 along the fence line here. Put a couple of red bud near the tank. They'll be pretty there too. We'll run the driveway right through some red buds. That'll be pretty. All right, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then along the driveway here to screen the house, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, there we go. There's my 20 little red buds. That's fun. Broke red maple. So red maple are definitely a stretch, I think, in this area. So they're going to probably want more water than I have available for them. They do work out in this area. Of course, this is the fall view of them, but I want to try to get these in there. And if I plant 50, I'm going to guess 10% might be strong enough to survive. So it doesn't really matter where I put the red maple. So I'll grab a different color pin for that. A little pile of red maple. Let's do 5. So we'll go back in this corner where these oak tree are, and we'll put some red maple in there. And that way, when you come out of these red buds, you'll come out, and in the fall, you'll have that. I like that. So we're going to put a red maple here and there too. So let's add a red maple in amongst these, just to add a little bit of volume to that. So back along here where I was going with the bur oak, I'm going to go ahead and drop in a couple of red maple along that as well. Little cluster here. Let's do 3. Through the fence, I want to add a red maple there. There. Right now, this fence line just has mesquite and hawthorn growing on it. Where I've got all these red bud, I'm going to go ahead and add a red maple, I don't know, every couple of 100 feet, let's say. Now down in here, I'd like to start adding some additional red maple. I want to put a red maple in there, or beech. I'll do one red maple there. So then series, wherever these bur oaks are, I'm going to add red maple in there. In between, I'm going to add some red maple in here. Now this is where the fairy garden is here. So in the fairy garden, I definitely want to I want to put one of these beech in here. They're real pretty American beech. When you find them in the forest, you can really tell that they're just quite a tree, quite a tree. And I don't know if you've watched any Game of Thrones or anything at all, you'll recognize a beech. They're so substantial. So and they're not real fast growing, but they're just amazing, amazing trees. So going back in here, I have 3 American beech. So one I want to put in the fairy garden. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a color. Hopefully I haven't used before. Let's do this lime here. And I got 3 of those. So I'm going to do one here. I want to do a beech tree here. Such a tree. They're amazing trees. Then a little beech tree here. All right. I'm pretty happy with that. But these beech, man, just so stately. All right. River birch. They're thirsty little trees, real pretty, fast growing. Now I'm going to chase the river with those. So going back to, and I've got 50. I'll go ahead and show you what they look like. They'll do just fine here in Texas. So there you go. They dappled sunlight. They're just the prettiest little thing. So they grow pretty fast. They've got the white bark. Just gonna be a real pretty plant, right? So let's go along the wet weather river. So I'm going to do those in clusters. So I don't have to be real specific for what I'm going to do. I'll grab a color I haven't used yet. So they'll follow and they'll make a break in the thing, and then I'll go here with river birch, and I'm going to go to prevent erosion. I'm going to run the rest of the river birch right along that, and then I'm going to fill in river birch here between the maples. And I think I want to do a little cluster of river birch here. All right, what do I have left here? White dogwoods. Oh, yeah. Oh, those will be something else. We all recognize white dogwoods from early spring. They show up in the woods, along the woods, and they love a fence line. That's where they really benefit. They're kind of an understory tree, so they do just fine understory. So I will stick those in and along the fence line, and they'll do just fine. So. All right, so I'm just going to chase the heck out of everything. I'm going to chase the heck out of those red buds, so I'll have some dogwoods mixed in there too. I'll chase this fence with dogwoods. Over here in the cluster of red maples, I'll put some dogwoods to frame it. There's already some oak tree in there. I'll put some dogwoods in here just to break up the thing. Plant dogwoods in front of everything there. This river birch, I'll intermix dogwoods in here. 50 of these bad boys, so I've got plenty. And I'll intermix some dogwoods back in here. The river birch will prevent the erosion. The dogwoods will do a little spot of white for me. All right, what else do I have left here? So on the 50, I've got the bur oaks, I've got the red buds, I've got the red maple, I've got the river birch, I've got the dogwood, the beech trees, which I already did. I love those beech trees. Red buckeyes, I've got a couple of those. Now those are fruit and nut trees, so I'm going to be tempted to put those near the house. So let's take a look at those. Red buckeye. So it's not an enormous tree, very attractive. It will draw the the hummingbirds to it. So I'll definitely want that near the house. So there's some fruits and nuts. I'm going to go ahead and stick these buckeye, and I'll call them BI. How about that? I'll grab my a shade of red. Let's grab a buckeye there. I'm going to do the buckeye in the fruit and things to draw the buckeye here. Let's put a little buckeye right up here. I like that idea. Buckeye. The peach trees we know is going in the orchard. The pears going in the orchard. Magnolias. Look, I've got 3 different kinds of magnolias, 2 centennial stars and 1 southern. So we'll take a look at those so you can see what those look like. And these are a stately tree. They're typical southern charm. So in the spring, again, they put out flowers before they put out leaves. So I have a couple of centennials and then I have a southern. And I believe the southern has the softer shaped leaves. So a little softer leaf. So both of those. So the thing about magnolia trees, they have a little bit of oil in their leaf. So I'm not going to put it right up next to the house, but they're certainly attractive to look at. So let's do the magnolias. Blue pin, I'll do a magnolia here. I like that. I'll do a magnolia up by the stock pond. And as you're coming through the driveway, I'll do a magnolia right at the end. So you'll know that as you're making that turn, you're in the south. American hazelnut, of course, I'll put the nut trees there. Lacebark elm, those are real pretty elms. I've got a couple of those coming. So, they're just your regular elm tree. I'm just trying to break up the cedar in that area. So they grow very stately, very tall. Definitely a showcase kind of a tree, and they'll just be beautiful, standing up above all of the cedar. So um, I could just put those. They'll stand out anywhere, so I can put those anywhere in the environment. So let's take a look here. Where would I like something that really stands out? See where this is? I'm going to go a lace bark elm right behind that. So I'm going to put a lace bark in here behind the magnolia. LB, lace bark. And I'm going to, there's an oak tree right there. I'm going to put a lace bark right off to the side of it. Little lace bark. Right now they're teeny tiny, right? These trees that I'm planting they're bare root trees, so they're not coming within containers. But trust the tree, and I bought more than I need, so I know I'm going to lose some of them to the deer and the cattle and whatnot. So, so there's a lace spark, and you know what? I'm going to put a lace spark over here along this fence line just to kind of make that. So there's my 3 lace spark. Chinese chestnut. The chestnut trees will go back in here. And I could see right now that I'll need another little, so the fruits and whatnot. So I'll do another little fruit and nut here, and I'll do another little fruit and nut in here, and probably another fruit and nut in here. There we go. That will cover things like apples. Let's look for these Forsythia. I've got 5 little Forsythia to put in there. So let's see what those look like. So, these are pretty little yellow bushes that you'll see around Texas, and they bring a lot of zip. They're springtime bush, but they last a while. So don't have very many. I've got 5 of them. So, but they'll be really stunning, sitting off in the along the thing. So chasing the driveway would be a good place to have some of those along the as a backdrop along that. So I'm going to put one, and we'll use yellow for Scythia. I've already used yellow once, but I'll use yellow again. So let's grab yellow again. How about I make it a fatter tip pin? Maybe that will help me. FOR, right along the stock tank. I'll do one right here. Let's say I'm going to do a Forsythia here. I'll just call it F. And then let's do a surprise back here in these post oak or bur oak. Let's do a Forsythia here. And a couple, I just put a couple in there. There's another F. Just little surprises. And then one along here, right near the house. So I can see I just cleared all that out. That's where I'm parking my tractor. So let's go right here. Forsythia, the other side of that tree. Chestnut, apples, azalea, pink azalea, orange azalea. Those are such pretty trees. And I'm almost done. Look, I got 10 loblollies that I got. I did. They made it, maybe. Maybe I got loblollies to put in there. So I'm pretty excited about the loblolly tree. So I'm going to start a little loblolly, a little loblolly forest. So I'm going to put those 10 trees all in I'll put 8 of them together and I'll stick one off someplace. So let's do that. I'm jumping around a little bit. Whenever something strikes my fancy. So there's already a group of cedars up here, 3 or 4 cedars. So let's join those with some loblollies and see if I can get some loblollies growing there. And I'm going to do those in green. So let's get uh, a no green here, and it's thick point, and I'll call them LLs. How about that? A little forest of loblolly. And I said 8. Oh my gosh, something I keep hitting on the table. It messes up my scribbling. And this will make sense to me. It won't make sense to anybody that looks at this map. So 8 there, and then I want some loblollies nearby me. So I'm going to put a loblolly here and a loblolly there. So that gives me my 10 loblollies. I'm so excited to have those loblollies. This is part of the piney woods of Texas. This is the end of it, of the large loblolly, which came down from the glacial activity, brought the seeds down. So I'm really excited to put some loblollies back into the environment. So those will be excellent. And my neighbor is babysitting the trees right now, so I said they could pick some. So we'll see if they'll pick the loblollies or not. They might. Let them have a couple of loblollies as well. All right. What do we have left here? All right. So I've got a northern catalpa, and there's actually butterflies and things that eat off the catalpa. So a couple of those, a couple of American elders, and a couple of black tupelos. Oh, but the azaleas. Oh my gosh, those are so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So these will add just so much color. So in the orchard is where I want to mix these so that I have hummingbirds and whatnot in the area. So the azaleas will be, and I'll call those AZ, both the orange and the red. I won't differentiate. So let's see what color I should do. Orange, right? Let's see if I've got orange in here. No orange. And I'll go AZ. AZ. So all my azaleas will chase that, and we'll chase that. I think I want to put a couple up here, mixed in here, like an AZ here. Just here and there, a couple of them. AZ. AZ. Now let's put a little pop of color way in the back here where the red maples are and all the dogwoods. So we'll put little azaleas back in there just so people from a distance can see that. So not a whole lot of those, is there? Just 4, 8. I'm going to have to make some decisions. Black Tupelo. Again, that's just a real stately, very attractive tree. Let's do that. So in the fall, you get the real pretty foliage on it, and you just get it's just a pretty tree. As it ages, it gets more stately the bigger it gets. So a real pretty tree in the fall. So that would be a good complement for the red maples. So I've got a couple of those in there. So I'm going to use T for the Tupelo, and I'll go back to, I'll try a silver one. I don't know if the Tupelo right there, and a Tupelo right back here. All right, what do I have left? The American Elders and the Northern Catalpa. That's it. Then I'm all done. I have my That's it. Then I have my map, my tree map, and 30 acres. So as you can see, I'm doing a little bit of harmony. I'm trying to meet the tree's needs. My property I saw the other day when it was 44 at the airport there in Flatonia. It was 39 at my property Fahrenheit. So there's a little microcosm going down into the valley of coolness. So I'm thinking some of these trees that are in 9, 10, but they're actually, Oklahoma 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. Those will be okay. I'm thinking the red maple might even be all right too. So we shall see. And if not, then I'm going to give a good college try. So, but the last two trees, I've got 4 American elders and 2 of the catalpa trees. So let's take a look at those so you see what those look like. And catalpa, people you like to use the catalpa for fishing. So very low, pretty tree, but it drips a sap. It drips this real heavy sap. So you can't put a picnic table under there. You can't, it has to be out in the open. But because it does the little worms, the catalpa worms, I'm going to put it over here by the stock pond. And I'm going to put one on each side. So let's do that, catalpa. And I've already got a blue pin over there. Let's see here. I'll call it a cat. C-A-T. And C-A-T. I'm still open to get my in mixed in there to get my pecan orchard in here, but maybe this will be my pecan orchard. We shall see, and I'll have less hay, more pecans. So there's my catalpa. And what was the last thing? I have American elder. Let's take a look at that. I think I had 4 of those, and then I'll print that out and take it with me to the farm, and I'll take that. So these are elderberry, and I'm looking for American. There we go. There we go. So a bush like with the elder. Now you can't eat the leaves on that. There's certain things, but one thing I was planning to do is make a little bit of wine, uh, and if not that cordial. So the elderberries, I'm going to put right along here that fence. So all right, elder. I'll go elder. ELD. And right along there. All right, let's take a look at everything. I took care of and my little map. I've got the bur oaks. Let's save this before I lose it. How about that? Save as tree map. All right, so taking a quick look here, I've got my bur oak done. I've got somebody's planting some, like maybe a tree in every tree in a forest. I don't know. Red bud, I've got those. Red maples back in the corner. River birch following the wet weather creek and whatnot to spill over. White dogwoods all around the borders. American beech, I've only had 3 of those, but man, they're beautiful. 100 years from now, somebody's going to really appreciate those trees. The red buckeye, only had a couple of those. Again, all these are bare root, so my success may or may not be 100% uh, on that. So my pears, peaches, all of those are going to all be in the orchard. My magnolias, I told you where I want those along the. My magnolias were right here and here. So along the fence line, those will be real pretty. I didn't want them right next to the house because they have a little oil, and I was worried about fire. Uh, it's right now a red notice out there. Once again, wind and dry. Don't do anything bad. Lacebark elm, hazelnut. The nuts, of course, will be up near the house. A couple of lacebark elms. The Forsythia, which is the yellow bush, those will be real pretty mixed in. Just like I said in post oak, just here and there a smattering of those. Chinese chestnut, 4 of those. They'll follow the orchard and trickle out into the cedar. Apple trees, of course. A free red maple. That's going to go right in the center of the fairy garden. And then your orange and pink azalea. I might change where those are. I might put those by the fairy garden. I'm not sure. A couple of black tupelo, American elder. I've got those taken care of. Elderberry wine, northern catalpas, and loblolly pines. All right. So there we go. There's my tree map. And I'll stick to it as best I can on the 30 acres. And it's quite a mess. I'm going to print it out here shortly. And then, depending on how long the video is, I'll actually do us doing the trees. I got a new drone, a new drone, and I don't know if I'll get it registered in time for me to take it out and take a look at the trees. But the drone would definitely be very, very useful while planting these trees on 30 acres. I can run it up, get an idea of what's already there, and drag that out. So we'll see how I could get all of this done. So I appreciate you. This is Steve at Thousand Years Homes, and these trees, they won't live 1,000 years, but their babies might, the next generation might, and who knows, maybe those American elms and the beech trees might get 1,000 years if nobody cuts them down. But certainly somebody will be able to log in 30 years or 40 years a lot of these. And then the loblolly pines, I would like to start spreading those out. And removing cedar wholesale and replacing that with loblolly pine. So I want to thank you all for joining me at 49 minutes. I can see right now nobody's going to stick around for 49 minutes. And too long. All right, it'll be a 2-part video, and I'll probably edit the heck out of this thing while I'm lost. But 50 minutes while I talk about how long this is. This is just awful. Let me hit stop. Stop recording. All right, there we go.